Hello everybody, welcome back to Giving Chase, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Texas PPG 375 and the battle between Pato O'Ward and Joseph Newgarden on a beautiful afternoon in Texas. Let's get into it. Both Newgarden and O'Ward would start the weekend strong, qualifying in 4th and 5th respectively. However, it wouldn't stay that way for long, as on lap 3, Newgarden had already made his way up to the lead of the race.
There's several drivers saying this could be like the Texas of old. Multi-lane, multi-group racing, lots of passing. We've seen it already and we're only on lap 3.
And it would be on lap 9 that O'Ward would make his move up towards the sharp end, getting around Scott Dixon and setting his sights on Joseph Newgarden in the lead of the race. Over the next 40 laps, our two protagonists would hold position, all the while opening up a 5-second gap over the rest of the field, when we saw our first caution of the day.
Pato just too high and loses it in the marbles.
When the pit lane opened after this caution, it would open up the floodgates as every single car came down pit road for their first stop of the day. And although Joseph Newgarden was able to hold his position at the front, I have to give the win in this pit stop battle to Pato O'Ward. I mean, just look at this power slide. And although Kirkwood and Rossi decided to get a little freaky in the pit lane, it wouldn't be long until we were up and running again under green in Texas. After the restart, Palou would briefly join the fight at the front after it was discovered that O'Ward was being asked to save fuel. Take a listen to this.
Oh yeah.
Big. No one is saving fuel.
Understood, we're looking at it here.
So they told O'Ward to hit a fuel number, and he's watching up ahead saying, hey, wait a second, they're not doing this.
Pato O'Ward is behind the wheel. He's like, this is ridiculous. What are we doing? They're not saving fuel. Why should I have to save fuel?
So after O'Ward decided, nah, I think I'd rather go fast, he swiftly made his way around Alex Palou. Fast forward to lap 109, and O'Ward and Newgarden had once again opened up the gap that they had before the previous caution. But on the next lap, Team Penske would make the call to bring in Scott McLaughlin and Joseph Newgarden, triggering the next round of pit stops. O'Ward and his McLaren strategists would opt to wait a few more laps before heading to pit lane. They wouldn't head into the pits until lap 114. Now this is a very dangerous move because just last year, Joseph Newgarden was able to launch a massive undercut in the pit stops by pitting earlier than everybody else. And initially it looked like the same thing had happened again, with O'Ward being 4 seconds behind Joseph Newgarden after the pit cycle had played out. However, that was before we discovered that Aero McLaren had loaded literal rocket fuel into Pato O'Ward's number 5 machine. As by lap 129, O'Ward had caught up to Newgarden and now looked to make a move for the lead.
Oh, battle for the lead. Here we go. Has caught Joseph Newgarden.
Side by side.
Newgarden does not want to relinquish that lead. O'Ward has something more to say about it.
Wow, that was a forceful demonstration from Pato O'Ward. Joseph Newgarden, you're going to have to reckon with this young Mexican all day long.
And with that rocket fuel still firing strong in O'Ward's machine, he was able to absolutely gap Joseph Newgarden in second place. And it wouldn't be long until O'Ward was looking to lap cars in the top 5. He was going so fast, the announcers couldn't even believe it. Take a listen.
I don't think Dixon's turned up the wick just yet, but here comes another McLaren. This could put Dixon a lap down. That's Pato O'Ward. That is a problem.
I was just going to say, he can't hold back too much longer because he's now a lap down on the leader. Pato O'Ward has lapped 5th place.
But it wouldn't stop there. O'Ward was nowhere close to done. And do you remember earlier in the race that one guy that briefly joined the fight for the lead? You might recognize his name. Alex Palou? Yeah, well, O'Ward was now closing in on Palou faster than Jordan Belfort closes a 46-year-old father of 3 on a pink slip penny stock, and would easily breeze by him on lap 157. 4 laps later, and O'Ward is now catching 3rd place.
And Pato O'Ward, watch him rip high. Folks, keep in mind, this yellow and red car is running in 3rd place, as Pato O'Ward is one of only 2 cars now on the lead lap. I haven't seen a performance like this in Texas ever. This is dominant.
And with O'Ward now having lapped every single car except for 2nd place, it would once again be Team Penske who was first to blink, as Joseph Newgarden would come into the pits on lap 165 desperately hoping for things to go better for them in this next stint of the race. But I promised you that we would see O'Ward lap every single car. Well, that's exactly what would happen, as after Newgarden's pit stop, it would be official. O'Ward was now over a lap ahead of every single car, and at least 2 laps ahead of everybody 8th place and below. But it wouldn't stay that way for long, as on lap 169, O'Ward headed for the pits. Let's listen in.
O'Ward, they are telling the team right now, we have an absolute rocket ship. Take your time. We don't need anything fancy. A solid stop here. Still one more stop. As you can see, 81 laps to go. O'Ward so happy with the handling of the car.
But after this round of pit stops, O'Ward would continue to assert his dominance, maintaining his gap to Newgarden of almost 6 seconds on a track that has a lap time of only a little over 20 seconds. And at this point in the race, O'Ward looked almost inevitable. But as we know, things can change very quickly in IndyCar, and that's exactly what would happen, as on lap 179, O'Ward's teammate Felix Rosenqvist would find his way into the wall. Now keep in mind, we are only 9 laps on from when O'Ward and Newgarden had previously pitted, and this would create a very interesting situation strategy-wise.
And here's the race on pit lane.
O'Ward's got about a second advantage on pit lane, but
This was a no-brainer for Joseph Newgarden. Just 2 cars on the lead lap. They were going to pit no matter what. It was a big debate for Pato O'Ward, because in essence, pitting here, all the cars that are 1 lap down, they now can take the wave around, putting 6 cars back on the lead lap. But here's the deal and why they decided Townsend to pit now. 68 to go. You called it. This could very well be the last stop of the day.
So some very interesting strategy calls being made here, but it was not over yet. You see, originally, only the cars on the lead lap were allowed to pit, that being O'Ward and Newgarden. The rules then state that the cars must keep circulating, and then all the lapped cars have the option to come down pit lane. But what Joseph Newgarden did is pit again, just 7 laps after he had originally pit under yellow, to top off his fuel. An absolutely genius move from Team Penske, as this now allowed Joseph Newgarden to run flat out to the end, while Pato O'Ward would have to save fuel. The only disadvantage for Newgarden being that upon restart, he would have some cars in between him and O'Ward, setting us up for an absolutely epic showdown.
The PPG 375 fires back into life. Pato O'Ward streaks away. Here comes Newgarden in that blue and white PPG Chevy.
Newgarden would have an excellent restart, quickly dispatching of the cars he needed to in order to get up to the rear end of Pato O'Ward.
Around the outside, here comes Newgarden. Second to first. He's on a mission. He wants that 3rd win here at Texas, and O'Ward says not just yet.
you want to see brave racing. Welcome to Texas Motor Speedway. They are all going big. Palou to the front.
Remember our good friend Palou? Well, he was now back in the fight. And you see, this was the danger for O'Ward, pitting on that last caution. He now allowed these cars back onto the lead lap, and he is racing Palou for position at this point. A couple laps later, and Newgarden has had just about enough of being behind these cars, and he takes the lead of the race back from Alex Palou, and it is an absolute dogfight at the front of the field. Now, remember, O'Ward is having to do a little bit of fuel save right now, and the only thing that could save him is another caution coming out. But fortunately for O'Ward, Stingray Robb would finally remember who he was, putting his car in the wall with only 41 to go in this epic battle. This created another very interesting strategy predicament for the top running teams. Do you pit now, get more fuel, fresh tires, and lose some track position? Or do you try and stay out and hold the position that you have on track? Now for O'Ward, it's a no-brainer. He is saving fuel. He has to come in. This was his saving grace. But for the other 7 cars still on the lead lap, what are they going to do?
Look at, there goes O'Ward. Palou stays out. Newgarden and O'Ward on pit lane.
So with Newgarden being the only one to take O'Ward up on the offer of pitting under this caution, it would once again set us up for a very intense restart. But it wasn't as straightforward for O'Ward and Newgarden this time, as although they are in 5th and 6th position on track, they are actually the 9th and 10th car. So lots of work to do for them getting around lap traffic here.
Let's go back to racing here in Texas. Who is going to win this one is the big question to be answered.
But as had been the case all day, these fresh Firestones were absolutely god tier. And this allowed O'Ward and Newgarden to close up to the sharp end in only 2 laps after the restart.
Here comes Pato O'Ward with a monster run. Pato O'Ward to the inside.
The man with the fast hands in IndyCar is on the move.
He's got so much fresh grip hitch and he's put it to good work. That took about 2 laps for Pato O'Ward to go to the front.
And just when it looked like Pato O'Ward was starting to get a hold on things, starting to control this race, IndyCar remembered it was IndyCar and decided to cause a little more chaos, with Graham Rahal and Devlin DeFrancesco getting into a wreck with just 27 laps remaining. This would once again open the pit lane for business, and our takers this time would be Romain Grosjean and Scott Dixon. 8 laps later, and with only 13 to go, the order was O'Ward, Palou, Newgarden, setting us up for an absolutely biblical shootout to the finish.
And up front, Pato O'Ward in that Arrow McLaren Chevy flats it and takes off. Look out, here comes Palou on O'Ward. Palou to the low side. Scott McLaughlin, yellow car on the inside, trying to push as O'Ward goes on the high side for the lead.
Palou not having any of it. He's got older tires, but you wouldn't know it right now as they fan out behind him, still neck and neck into turn 3. Joseph Newgarden just lurking in the middle between the two, trying to see which one's gonna go.
Newgarden puts that PPG Chevy right on the inside of Pato O'Ward and says, take that. And now to the lead goes Joseph Newgarden.
We've got Palou with 1 life of tires. You've got Newgarden O'Ward with another. Side by side, Joseph Newgarden. Pato's gonna try to go with him.
He's looking 3 wide, Pato O'Ward. Meanwhile, the 2 strongest cars all day run side by side, nose to nose, with 7 to go at the line.
This is just awesome. Inches between cars at 200 plus miles an hour.
And at this point, it looked like everything had come full circle. O'Ward and Newgarden battling it out once again, literally side by side through so much of these final laps.
Enter Romain Grosjean. Here comes Grosjean on the inside.
We see Pato on the outside. It is all to play for.
2 Chevys in the front with Newgarden and Pato O'Ward.
As a driver, you're now thinking, where do I want to be on the last lap when you get the white flag? Do I want to be leading? Do I want to be second? Do I need to take advantage of that draft? This is what they're practicing right now to try to position themselves for that dash to the finish. Pato O'Ward getting right up beside the number 2 of Joseph Newgarden, not trying to give him an inch more than he needs, trying to force that lift right now. Both drivers flat out. The spotters are working overtime right now, Townsend.
And these are 2 very clean race drivers, but O'Ward hanging high, but he's using up those tires up on the slipperier surface. Looks like Grosjean crashed.
Grosjean!
And just like that, the race was over. And since Newgarden was ahead when the caution came out, it would be Newgarden who took the win. So that is how you can lap every single car in the race and still not end up winning. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.